بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Dear students, this is lecture 21 of Applied Chemistry. The topic we are going to discuss today is water conditioning for industrial purpose. If water as it occurs in nature were pure water and nothing else, there would be no need for water analysis and water conditioning. Whatever the source, water always contains impurities in solution or suspension. It is the determination of these impurities that make water analysis necessary, and the control of these impurities that make water conditioning essential. Water used directly in an industrial process is classified as industrial water. The use of water in steam generation boilers, for example, is an obvious industrial use. Cooling water, either on once through bases or with cooling towers, is a prominent industrial use. Water is essential to large air conditioning systems. What is industrial water conditioning? To many people, industrial water conditioning is shrouded in an air of mystery. Much of this confusion is due to the lack of understanding of what industrial water conditioning is and what it is supposed to accomplish. Basically, industrial water conditioning embraces the broad field of fitting water to the job. Its purpose is twofold. One, it involves removing or minimizing the undesirable characteristics of water, such as removing hardness by softening to avoid scales. 2. It involves adding desirable properties to water, such as adding phosphate ions to give corrosion inhibition properties. Key concepts that we will go through in this lecture includes similarities between water softener and water conditioner, differences between water softener and water conditioner, how does water softener works, how water conditioner works, and at the end of the presentation we will look into different types of water conditioners, either on the basis of source or on the basis of nature. In this lecture we will focus on two types of water treatment systems. These are water conditioners and water softeners. These terms are often confused, so we will clarify the difference and explain how each works. Before we discuss the differences between these two terms, let's talk about the similarities. Water conditioners and water softeners both are used to address the common problem of water hardness. Hard water is the water that is rich in minerals like calcium, magnesium, and silica. These minerals can cause serious problems for heat exchange surfaces, pipes, and water fixtures throughout the residential area and business areas. Over time, pipes could become completely clogged by scale buildup. When lime scale builds up on a heating element, it insulates and prevents from doing its job efficiently. Hard water can cause ongoing everyday problems too. It's no wonder that homeowners and business community alike want to find a way to combat this issue. The confusion about the two systems brings the questions like, is a water conditioner the same as a water softener? The difference between a water softener and a water conditioner is that the conditioner will alter hard water minerals but does not remove them. A water conditioner will reduce scale, but a water softener will eliminate scales from calcium and magnesium by using salt in regeneration cycle. Water softening is the removal of calcium, magnesium and certain other metal cations in hard water. So, total dissolved solids increases but calcium hardness decreases. सोडियम साल्ट हम ऐड करते हैं जिसकी वजह से टोटल डिजॉल्व्ड सॉलिड्स की अमाउंट बढ़ जाएगी, बट हम कैल्शियम और मैग्नीशियम को रिमूव करते हैं जिसकी वजह से हार्डनेस डिक्रीज हो जाएगी. The presence of certain metal ions like calcium and magnesium, principally as bicarbonates, chlorides and sulfates in water, causes a variety of problems. Hard water leads to build-up of lime scale which can foul plumbing and promote galvanic corrosion. In industrial scale water softening plants, the effluents flow from the regeneration process can precipitate scales that can interfere with sewage systems. Water conditioner is not a softener or filter. A conditioner helps to minimize the adverse effects of many of undesirable substances in water. Water conditioning aims to address three major issues that are present in most water sources. These are lime scale, bacteria and algae. These problems can cause a whole host of issues in water systems, including on the inside of pipes, on heat exchangers, on fixtures and many more areas. Water conditioner versus water softener. What's the difference? We have already seen what these two terms have in common. So what's the difference between them? When it comes to the issue of hard water, a traditional water softener actually removes calcium, magnesium and silica ions, leaving it with small quantities of what is known as temporary hardness. The softener replaces these ions with salt through a process called ion exchange. A water conditioner, on the other hand, is a more innovative solution that manipulates the way hardness minerals in a liquid solution behave. The result is that they are still present, but they don't build up on surfaces and cause problems. Since calcium, magnesium and silica are healthy minerals to human and other animals, keeping them in water is a great advantage as long as they are not damaging your plumbing system. While both water softener and water conditioner are designed to address the problem of water hardness in some way, a water conditioner typically tackles other water issues too, such as biological contaminants, including bacteria and algae, which can collect on surfaces. When these substances build up, it is referred to as biofilm. A water softener alone is not designed to address the issue of biofilm but only scales. Note that water conditioner is often used as a fairly broad term that may refer to any type of water purification or treatment system. There are different methods of conditioning water, but the result should be a liquid solution that does not allow build-up of any kind of damage to your plumbing system. How does a water softener work? A water softener typically removes excess minerals from water through a process called ion exchange. To understand this process, you need to first understand that minerals are ionic. In other words, they are electrically charged. It is also important to understand that ions of opposite charge attract each other. Minerals such as calcium and magnesium both have a positive charge. Sodium, the mineral that water softener used to replace hardness ions, also has a positive charge. So, none of these ions are attracted to each other. However, sodium's charge is weaker than that of calcium and magnesium. If ions are not attracted to each other, how can an exchange take place? There is one other crucial element needed to make the process work: a resin bed consisting of lots of tiny negatively charged beads. The salt added to a water softener clings to these beads since opposites attract. Then, when calcium and magnesium rich water flows through these water softener, the negatively charged resins attract positively charged ions of calcium and magnesium. Since these ions have a stronger positive charge than sodium ion, the sodium ion get displaced and are exchanged for calcium and magnesium. The water that flows out of the tank now contains dissolved sodium chloride instead of dissolved calcium and magnesium, resulting in what is called soft water. To keep this process up, we have to periodically add bags of salts to water softener. This recharges the beads so the ion exchange process can continue to work. Some of the downsides of this process are that it wastes water since the excess minerals need to be flushed out and requires the addition of salt every so often to keep it going. This represents an ongoing maintenance task as well as financial cost. It also makes this type of water treatment less environment friendly and unhealthy to human and other animals. How does a water conditioner work? Or How do water conditioners affect water? Remember, there are different kinds of water conditioners. They use various methods to create a catalytic reaction that changes the way minerals and biological contaminants behave in a liquid solution. The end goal is to keep this matter from building up on surfaces and causing serious issues like biofouling and scale buildup. The exact way a water conditioner achieves this depends on what type of conditioner it is and what the system is capable of. The goal may be to reduce the formation of limescale, to slow down the rate of scaling, or to change the makeup of the scales so that it precipitates and does not adhere to surfaces at all. No matter how a water conditioner manipulates the behavior of minerals, they all have some key things in common. Conditioners, as opposed to traditional water softener, do not actually remove mineral ions, but they do prevent those ions from building up around the insides of pipes, on heating elements, nozzles, and plumbing fixtures. This solves one of the major problems hard water presents without adding salts. This is why you will sometimes hear water conditioners referred as no salt softeners. This water treatment option is preferable for many people since water conditioners tend to be much lower maintenance and lower cost than traditional water softeners and do not add sodium to the water. Another advantage of water conditioning process is that it can address biological contaminants as well. Water conditioners can break up biofilms so that it does not adhere to surfaces. Some conditioners can even deactivate these biological contaminants. On the basis of source, water conditioners are divided into two groups: external water conditioners and internal water conditioners. External conditioners. This phase of industrial water conditioning has many names. Whatever it is called, it means doing something to water to make it more suitable for its intended application before it reaches the point of use. External treatment usually requires the use of equipment which may include hot or cold process lime soda softeners, zeolites, and other ion exchange systems, deaerators, filters, clarifiers, etc. Such equipment used for the purpose of reducing hardness and alkalinity, eliminating dissolved oxygen, and for the removal of suspended solids. Regardless of the purity of water provided by the use of such equipment, additional chemical treatments normally are required for complete protection against scale, corrosion, and a host of other potential sources of trouble. Internal treatment. Like external treatment, this phase of industrial water conditioning is known by several names. In this case, it means doing something to water at the point of use to make it suitable for its intended application. In boiler water systems, the objective of internal treatment is to make possible the control of scale formation and corrosive action. It may also be necessary to use internal chemical treatments to prevent return lime corrosion due to dissolved gases liberated in boiler system. Internal chemical treatment is used in cooling water system for the prevention of scale and corrosion as well as conditions brought about by biological growths. Proper application of internal treatment result in improved heat transfer by eliminating these insulating deposits. There are cases too where internal chemical treatment is used in the solution of specific water problem other than in boiler and cooling system. Water conditioning is in many respects unlike any other field of engineering. It demands an unusual variety of talents, including those of chemical, mechanical, corrosion, and sanitary engineer, microbiologist, physical chemist, and bacteriologist. An industrial water treatment company provides all these services. On the basis of nature, there are two types of water conditioners known as physical conditioner and chemical conditioner. As name depicts, physical conditioner do not change chemical nature of materials, whereas chemical conditioner affect the chemical nature of materials. Physical treatment for water conditioning includes magnetism, electromagnetism, electrolysis, template assisted crystallization, and electrical induction. Magnetism. Some conditioners use magnets to create a magnetic field in water that affects the way hardness ions behave. Normally, these ions are prone to forming clusters that stick to surfaces, but magnetism is intended to make them less likely to do this by changing the shape of clusters. Electromagnetism. This method is similar to magnetism, but in this case there is a source of electricity. Electromagnetic conditioners have the same disadvantage as magnetic ones. The only advantage over traditional magnetic conditioner is that one can turn off the signal if needed to be. Electrolysis. This method uses what is essentially a battery. Metal electrodes are immersed in water and release positive zinc ions, which also release electrons that move through the wire to cathode. This process eventually ceases when zinc anode dissolves. When this conditioner is exhausted, it will no longer affect the water, and one may not know this has occurred until hard water caused damage. Template assisted crystallization, shortened to TAC. This method uses resin bead as a catalytic nucleation site where hardness mineral ions are changed into a stable crystalline form that will not cling to surfaces. These crystals are microscopic and flow normally through the water, unlike with a softener that uses ion exchange. This tank of resin bead does not require ongoing regeneration. Electrical induction. An electrical current can also be used to precipitate water hardness. This precipitate typically forms on an electrode that requires periodic cleaning. The precipitate can create a layer of sludge on some surfaces. However, this sludge can be easily removed by fast flowing water. Some water treatment methods change the chemical makeup of water rather than manipulating the way ions behave in water. You may hear these treatment methods referred as water conditioners, but they use chemicals to treat water and are not physical conditioners. A water softener that uses ion exchange is one example of chemical treatment process. Some other examples of chemical treatment methods include chelation, Clark's process, reverse osmosis. Chelation is a method to introduce a chemical compound that acts as a chelating agent. Magnesium and calcium bind to this chelating agent and remain suspended in water rather than building up on surfaces. However, if they remain in one place for long, as they might in water heater, the buildup could still occur. Clark's process. This process is also called lime softening. Calcium hydroxide, also called lime water, is added to water, which causes the hardness ions to precipitate. The alkalinity of water is raised above 9.6, so carbon dioxide must be added to recarbonate the water and bring the pH back down. Reverse osmosis. With reverse osmosis, pressure forces water to pass through a semi-permeable membrane that takes unwanted ions, molecules and larger particles out of the water. Reverse osmosis requires ongoing filter replacements, which can become costly. Acid is usually introduced in order to reduce the fouling of this system.